If you're posting on TikTok and you're not landing paid brand deals, then you're leaving some of the easiest money you'll ever make on the table. I've personally landed over $600,000 in paid brand deals in the last 9 months alone, while everyone else was chasing higher commission, posting 5 times a day, burning out by the second month. In the first few minutes, I'm handing you my exact system that I use to land upwards of $5,000 or more per month in paid brand deals. Skip this course and you'll keep watching smaller creators make more than you with worse content because they have one thing that you don't. Let's get into it. Here's the first thing that's gonna flip how you think about your content forever. After landing over $600,000 in brand deals, I can tell you with 100% certainty that brands aren't paying for just views. If you're DMing a brand and saying, hey, I've got 5,000 followers, you trying to sponsor me? I can promise you right now that's gonna get you nowhere. The brands don't care about views, they don't care about follower count. The one thing that they care about is ROI. You need to stop aiming for followers and views, and you need to start aiming for how you can convert for brands and what type of ROI you can bring them, or return on investment. Let's say a brand invests $1,200 into you for 10 videos. You need to try and make the best content possible to bring at least break even and ultimately aim for bringing back more of a profit for the brand, because guess what? When you do that, they're gonna renew your contract month after month because you're bringing them profit, and that's the whole name of the game. They wouldn't be doing this if money wasn't involved. So you have to have that mindset. The main thing you need to focus on is a higher conversion rate, meaning your videos are the sole reason why these people and these customers are purchasing the brand's product. You need to study your stats from your videos and see what works and what isn't working, and you need to capitalize on what is working. You need to double down and repeat that same process that's winning, because there's no reason to change or reinvent the wheel. Simply adjusting your cold outreach messages isn't gonna get the brand's interest. The brands need to see some real proof of sales before they invest in you or even consider it. And that means your account has to do the selling for you, proving to them that you can actually move their product or any product in general. Now, positioning is super important when it comes to speaking with these brands. Here are 4 ways to ensure that you're positioning yourself correctly for these brands. Firstly, you need to have a clean media kit. Now, there's plenty of ways you can go about getting one. You can make your own on a site like Canva, or you can go on Fiverr.com. That's where I like to go. There's a lot of skilled artists out there that can do it for you, and they're really not that expensive either. So you need to invest in yourself if you want to do this professionally. Normally, it involves you giving them professional pictures, your stats, anything notable you want to have on there for brands to read. It's really up to you, but they are a good thing to have in your inventory when you're approaching these brands. Because remember, the goal is to look as professional as possible. You want to sound as professional as possible. That way you can speak with these brands with authority, and you can come across with your leverage, and you can make sure that you're one of the best candidates that they have when it comes to them choosing the creators for that month for that paid brand budget. Another thing I would recommend is pin your top 3 videos. Pin the top 3 videos that have produced the most sales, that have converted the best, and have brought the most attention to you as an affiliate. You don't want to be aesthetic, because remember, the goal is to show that you can provide a nice ROI, or at least a great shot at a nice ROI for these brands. So pin your top 3 videos and prove right off the bat that your content converts. Now, this is baseline beginner affiliate knowledge, but you want to niche down your profile. Meaning, if your content performs best with supplements, then stick to supplements. If you're converting best with skincare, stick to skincare. Do not reinvent the wheel. There's no purpose in that. Capitalize on what's winning and capitalize well, and always be ready to pivot when the time comes. And then last but not least, your bio is super important here. You need to make sure that your affiliate email is in that bio. That way these brands know where to contact you at. You can also add things like what type of creator you are, the niche you're in. It's honestly completely up to you. The more info you provide for the brand, the better. Now, once you're positioned, the next part is finding brands that'll actually pay you. And this is where some affiliates waste months pitching to the wrong companies. The biggest myth in this space is that brands just come to you once you reach a certain following or a certain view count, that you need to be big enough before brands start taking you seriously. And that's just not how this works. Brands are actively searching for creators every single day. It doesn't matter if you have 2,000 followers or 200,000 followers. They're looking for any creator in any niche constantly every single day. Brands have employees dedicated to this. The brands only care if you as an affiliate relate to their product and can convert for their product. That's all they care about. You just need to reach out to them. Now, this is why some small creators outreach and and still have issues landing deals. The main issue I see is these affiliates that are smaller and not really into the game yet. They start sending out the exact same message to like 200 brands a day. And yes, while the volume is outstanding, you gotta understand these brands communicate with each other. They all, for the most part, communicate, especially when they're in the same niche. So you have to understand, when you're hitting them with the exact same message, like yes, that's okay to a certain extent, but you can't do that constantly. You have to switch up the scripts, you have to switch up your approach, because these people talk. The affiliates I see landing the most deals are the ones outreaching via TikTok or email with the scripts that are personalized to them. You don't want to put it in the last paragraph. That kind of defeats the purpose. You want to make sure your value is front and center and easy for the brand to find and to find quickly, because they're sifting through emails like it's nothing. And the ones I see winning are the ones doing exactly that, personalizing their outreaching techniques and giving the brand a reason for them to believe it's actually them and not an AI generated response or just some automated response. They prefer to be speaking human to human, at least from my experience. And last but not least, you cannot treat this like spam, okay? You can't just blast out the same thing. You have to be really dedicated to this and you have to personalize it, all right? I would say every 2 days, switch up your script. Try something else, try something new. That way you can capitalize on the script that's converting for you the most. You gotta find what's winning. So here's how I do it and how I taught my team to do it in order for us to land over $600,000 in paid brand deals. I use one source to scrape leads, and it's the app you're already using. It's TikTok. It's right there for you. If you're in the creator program, which you probably are if you're watching this video, you know that if you click on a brand or that product, if you scroll down, it says contact now right there. If you click that, most times they provide an email and a WhatsApp number. Those are two prime examples right there for you to go ahead and contact that brand. They're giving it to you. You don't have to scrape. You don't have to pay for some scraper. You can do it yourself. So follow those exact steps of how to find the brand's information and you can capitalize on that. And you can go ahead and do this for 50 brands that day. That's 50 more options potentially coming your way than you had before, is it not? It's worth every message. I personally look for brands and have my team look for brands that are already working with affiliates. If you click the product again and you scroll down, you can see if creators are posting for that brand or that product. And if you see videos on there with 2 million views or even 100,000 views, it doesn't matter. At least there's people pushing it and there's some sort of attention to it. Those are the brands you want to target because more than likely they're recognizing their top affiliates and they're paying them out. And if you can bring them some value, they'll at least consider you, which is what it's all about. Those are the ones that you want to target. And last but not least, the volume of your outreach is so vital. You cannot send 5 messages a day and expect an ample amount of opportunities to come your way. And I cannot stress this enough. You have to play the volume game. Whether you hire someone to do it for you or you do it yourself, it's gonna take hundreds and hundreds of messages to start seeing a snowball effect. You might have better luck as an affiliate because they see it's coming straight from the affiliate themselves and not an agency like me. So you actually have the upper hand there. Just please play the volume game if you want consistent brand deals. That's what it takes. You have to send out 50, 100 messages a day. I did this personally before I automated my system for 3 months or more straight. Every single day I was sending out 100 to 200 messages a day. And it really doesn't even take that long. It takes about an hour to send out 100 messages if you're consistent and you're working. If you're slacking off a little bit, you can still hit like 70 messages in an hour. And like I said before, that's 70 more opportunities coming your way than you had if you wouldn't have done it in the first place. Play the volume game and reap the benefits. If you're watching this but you'd prefer to skip the trial and error and just get our exact scripts, outreach techniques, overcoming objections, pricing and how to profit, email templates, contract templates, all the scripts in the world, anything you could possibly need to be successful in this industry is in that first link in the description below. You're gonna get all of my scripts that I've used to land this insane amount of brand deals. Not only are you gonna get all of that, you're also gonna get weekly calls that are hosted directly by me or another professional in the field, where there you can ask them any question you'd like and pick up free game when it comes to landing paid brand deals. I've already done over $600,000 landed in brand deals, and I'm landing anywhere from $10,000 to upwards of $50,000 per week in paid brand deals. And I have been for a majority of my time running this business because of the skills that I provide. Now, if you want in, it's in the first link in the description. Now let's cover what you should actually be pitching these brands. Let's get into into it. When a brand is going through their messages, you have about 30 seconds to gain their attention or they're just gonna move right on. So your pitch can't just be a list of stats. It has to be somewhat of a business proposal. If you're leading with your follower count, meaning you message something like, hey guys, I got 5,000 followers, they're not gonna care. Honestly, if you lead with that, it's just gonna tell the brand that you don't understand business. You have to lead with your audience fit instead. Lead with your value. Lead with the fact that you could bring them an ROI. Lead with your content that converts. Anything but your follower count. If you're just dumping screenshots of past results from old videos, they're not gonna care. Yes, it's gonna show to an extent that you can convert, but they only care about your recent conversions. What does it matter if you converted 8 months ago? A lot can happen in a month, much less 8 months. One short performance stat works 10 times better. That can be your average views per month. That can be your sales per month, which is way more important. You can bring them an ROI. You can be anything, but you gotta provide some sort of value. If you're going in there just talking about yourself, saying, I'm 26 years old, make videos here and there, then it doesn't matter. They're not gonna care. No one cares about your life story, okay? Unfortunately, I know you wish someone did, but get a therapist. This is about money, okay? And that's all they care about. They wanna make sure that you can bring them an ROI, return on investment. They wanna make sure that you know what you're doing and that your videos convert and they can convert for their brand and their product. That's all they care about. They don't care that you were raised on a farm in Kentucky. That's just the blatant truth. You need to frame everything around what could potentially happen if they work with you. As in, hey, I made this brand with 10 videos, $1,500, and they only paid me $1,000. Things like that are very important to a brand, and you're gonna stand out way more than any regular affiliate if you start using this type of lingo and start positioning yourself well when it comes to interacting with these brands. What's gotten me an 80% reply rate is the exact same structure that I use for every single message. It's the exact same one that's closed me over $600,000 in paid brand deals in just 9 months. Now, the script I'm about to show you is not the script that you're gonna use essentially as an affiliate. This script is just what I use for my agency to land brand deals for my clients. Yours is gonna look something like, hey, my name is so-and-so. I've done this much GMV in the last 30 days. Here's my account link. I've done this much for brands in the past. I've brought this much of an ROI in the past. And then you're gonna end it with, here's my rates for 5, 10, 20 videos. And you're gonna say, thank you, looking forward to our cooperation. That's how yours is gonna look as an affiliate, but for mine, I'll show you my exact one that I use. So this is what I tell my employees to use now. I used to use this myself. So as you can see, it says, hello, my name is, then you'll insert your name. I work for Creator Negotiator, a high GMV, high converting agency. We are acquired by Creators Corner, a platinum agency. Our creators combined have generated over $100 million in GMV across the board. Below, I'd like to offer you a huge male or female creator of mine. You don't have to say male or female, that's just an option. Then you can put the creator's name, their lifetime and last 30 GMV. However, I will tell you, your lifetime doesn't really matter that much, unfortunately. It's more so your last 30-day GMV. Take that how you want. And then you'll put your account link right there. I'm gonna say they're looking to work with your brand on a flat fee basis, which is all we do, flat fee. And then the prices are as follows, 10 videos, 20 videos. Now you can do 5, 10, 15, 20, who cares? Whatever package you want to include. And it says, please let me know if you'd like to work with my client. They're prepped and ready to go. Thank you. So that's the exact script that I've used that's generated me over $600,000 in paid brand deals for my clients combined. It converts, and like I always say, why reinvent the wheel? If it works, it works. I'm not touching it. Now, once they say, yes, we're interested, that doesn't mean it's over. Job's not done, because this is where creators throw away thousands of dollars without even knowing it. When you get an offer for $800 per video, you're probably gonna wanna say yes right on the spot. But I'm here to tell you that you're actually getting ripped off. Smaller creators are scared to counteroffer and go for anything larger. When they offered you $800, you could have counteroffered and potentially got up to upwards of $1,000, $2,000, who knows? You never ever accept the first offer ever. That's rule number 1 in negotiations. Do not accept that first offer. And let me tell you why. Brands historically come in about 30 to 50% lower than what they could potentially be paying you. And they do this because, like I say, it's all about money, not about views, not about followers, none of that. It's about money. So they're gonna come in and try to shorthand you and see if you'll take it. Do not take it. ever, always counteroffer. Even if it's just a small nudge, if you're scared of confrontation or something, which you can't be if you're in this business, but if you are, you can say, hey, I appreciate the $800 deal, but I'm looking for more so around $1,200 or so. You know, you could just hit them with something like that and see what they say. My go-to saying is aim high and meet in the middle. And that's not a new saying. That's been around forever because it is the truth, and that's exactly how it works a majority of the time. You need to aim super high. You need to show them why you have leverage in the first place, and then once you prove that you have leverage, you have all the power almost. Yes, it's a give and take, but you need to tell them, hey, instead of saying 5 videos for 1,000, say 5 videos for $1,250, 5 videos for $1,500. Always shoot high and then meet in the middle, because the brand's gonna come back with something like, oh yeah, I mean, that's a great offer, but we're actually looking to meet you around $1,300. Does that work with you? That's all our budget allows for the month. You know, whatever excuse they bring you. There you go. You went from $800 to $1,300. That's a $500 increase. All because you didn't accept that first offer. Don't fucking accept it. Never. You need to build value and show the brand your value prior to discussing the price. So don't come in second email and go, yeah, I would like $15,000 for 10 videos. I mean, that you just look ridiculous. You need to build some sort of rapport with these brands, show them why you're worth the money, and then towards the end of the discussion, you can start speaking about prices. But don't just jump in there 2 messages in and start demanding money. It's just not gonna work out for you that way, and I'm speaking from experience. Also, you need to be aiming for monthly reoccurring retainers. You don't just want one-off deals. You need to perform so well for these brands that they almost have no choice but to renew your deal month after month after month. And guess what? If you bring them a nice ROI that first month, that second month you're coming in with so much more power, and you can demand more pay, and more than likely, especially if you brought a nice ROI, they're gonna pay it every time. Because why wouldn't they? You're converting for them. That's the name of the game. And last but not least, you better get everything in contract. Everything. Every single word, every syllable, it needs to be written, and it needs to be gone over, not just by ChatGPT. If it's big enough, you need to put it through a lawyer or something and get real eyes on that bad boy, especially if you're talking $5, $10, $15,000. That's not just pocket change for 99% of the earth. Okay, that's a lot of money. So get everything in contract, everything. Make sure you and the brand are both on the same page, sign that bad boy, and then go perform. That's simple. But landing the deal is only the half of it. The creators who hit 20K, 30K, even 40, 50K a month aren't constantly hunting for new deals. They have brands re-signing them every single month because that's how well their content converts. And those are the affiliates that you need to study. So the way you deliver determines whether you have a full-blown business or a side hustle. Now I'm gonna give you some tips here. First, you need to over-communicate during the course of the campaign. I know it sucks to do, but even just providing one video, if it's a good brand and you really cherish the relationship you're trying to build here, provide them with a few example videos that they can go off of, and that way they can tell you exactly what they want in the exact video structure. And then now you have a guide, a pathway to perform exceptionally well for this brand. And even if you don't, just you listening to them and listening to their recommendations is going to put you on their side way more than you could ever imagine. Yes, I understand revisions suck, scripts suck. If you can lock in and you really cherish that brand and you really cherish that relationship, then this is an important step I believe that you should take. For example, you could record a Loom video and send over your ideas and the concepts you may have for these videos. And speaking from experience, brands love that. Secondly, keep the brand updated. Send your stats. If you've posted 3 videos and the videos are performing well or just performing in general, send those stats over. That's part of the over communication. You need to send them every single aspect of your stats, your views, the comments, the sales, literally anything. All of it looks good to the brand. Always pitch the renewal. Don't ever pitch for a one-off. Pitch for a renewing contract. That should be baseline knowledge for you at this point. Always aim for 2-month deals, 3-month deals, even half-a-year deals. I've seen brands do yearly deals. It doesn't matter. Express what you're feeling and have a conversation. The worst they can say is no. 80% of my income comes from reoccurring retainers, not just one-offs. And you as an affiliate should be in the exact same boat. And the last last thing that I'll say is you need to have the mindset of treating every single brand like a long-term relationship, not a paycheck. If you actually do this, even at just 1,000 followers and with no past collabs, it's gonna get you closer to landing your first paid brand deal in your first 30 days of using these skills provided to you. Now, if you want me and my team to handle the outreach, the templates, the contracts, the scripts, overcoming objections, pricing and how to profit, and so much more, and you want someone to walk you through the entire system step by step, click that first link in the description to get started. We've helped creators land as much as $5,000 within their first 60 days of learning with us and applying these skills. Thank you for watching.